Today we want to talk about the side effects of chemotherapy and radiation, and what are some of the natural ways we can handle this. Now, just a disclaimer before that, every case is different. Every reaction to chemo is different depending on the kind of chemo you're going through, the number of cycles, the intensity of the drug that you're taking, and also on the amount of radiation cycles, the part of the body it's on. So everyone is different, everyone is unique. What we're sharing with you is from experience, things that work, so that you have a clue that there is something that can help you reduce the side effects of chemo. Now, why is it so important that we look at this? You know, I think the most suffering that we see over the last couple of years are people who go through medical treatments without looking after the side effects of the treatment and without changing their lifestyle. We're not here to tell you that medicine is wrong and that you shouldn't be taking chemotherapy. You have to follow what your doctor tells you to do. But at the same time, just doing that, just taking any drug and not managing the side effects of that or changing your lifestyle, okay, is going to cause more and more problems. So number one, why does chemotherapy and radiation cause so many side effects? One, we know it is a cytotoxic treatment. It is a kind of a poison that goes into your body in an informed way to kill your cancer cells. But along with killing your cancer cells, it also potentially destroys your good cells, your healthy cells. It lowers your immunity. It increases inflammation in your body, okay? Now, the moment we have toxic buildup in the body, it's very, very important for the human body to be able to flush out these toxins. We have 5 eliminatory organs: the lungs, the liver, the kidney, the bowels, and your skin. If any of these detoxification organs are not working the right way, we have more and more of the toxins build up in our system. And we know that the underlying cause of any disease or worsening of any disease can happen with the overaccumulation of toxins in the human body. So today we're going to talk about, your white blood cells. Why does your white blood cells fall and what can we do about it? We're going to talk about your platelet count. Very, very common. Your platelets, fall when you're going through chemo. Does this mean you're sicker? No, absolutely not. It is a side effect of the treatment, and there are natural things that you can do to increase your platelets, increase your white blood cells. Then you have hyperpigmentation. So a lot of people start darkening up, their skin changes, their color changes. Is there something you can do about it? Absolutely yes. Are we guaranteeing that the pigmentation can go back to normal? We don't know. It depends on what you do. And then you have neuropathy. Neuropathy are the pains that happen. You get these pains, this numbness, these tingling sensations in your joints, in your fingertips, in your toes, in your foot. It could be different for anyone. Is there something that you can do for it? Absolutely yes, because the chemotherapy usually tends to destroy the nerve endings. The toxins in that destroys the nerve endings. So it's part of the side effects of your treatment. We have weight loss. A lot of people get confused over here because the doctors are telling them, keep eating more, eat ice creams, eat sugar, eat all of these things, but put on weight. And we want to tell you why that is the worst advice ever. Okay, so we'll come to that point, and then you have something called cachexia, where the patient loses so much of weight, they become skin and bone. So we're going to understand, Deepika heads nutrition in my team. She manages cancer patients with me all over the world. And today, from experience and based on science and everything that we do, we're going to give you a couple of tips and remedies. Like I said, do it with an informed decision. Always keep your doctor in the loop. If you're under our guidance, that's great. If you're not, keep your doctor in the loop. And remember, make decisions which suit you, okay? If we're giving you a particular food that's a remedy, you also need to make sure that, do you have diabetes? Will it affect your diabetes, your heart, and everything else? So Deepika, thanks for making time today. Let's start off with neutropenia, which is basically white blood cells falling. So like I said, when you have chemotherapy, your immune system falls along with that. And it is so important for a cancer patient to boost their immune system while their immune system is crashing because of the chemotherapy. A lot of people wonder why they get relapses of cancers and why the cancers come back. There's one word. A lot of people say we don't know and it's genetic. It's easy to wash it off. But what we really know is your immune system. If your immune system is weak, you can get cancers over and over again. So how do you maintain the immune system, your white blood cells, which forms a major part of your immune system while you're going through chemotherapy? Deepika, over to you, please.
Thanks, Luke. Good afternoon, everyone. So as Luke mentioned, chemotherapy or any conventional treatment definitely starts killing our healthy cells as well in its positive attempt for killing cancer cells. But what happens is our immunity gets compromised. So we can definitely try and follow a few tips at home to make sure that we look into improving our immunity day by day. So very common thing which is easily available in everyone's house is like garlic, turmeric, ginger, onion, star anise. All of these superfoods are anti-inflammatory in nature, and they also helps us in boosting our immune system. So let's try and add all these Indian spices, onion, garlic, everything into your routine to make sure that it helps us in keeping our immunity levels high, in improving the lymphocyte count, and improving the neutropenia that happens. If I talk about garlic in detail, garlic definitely has allicin into it. Now, allicin plays a very important role in prevention of cancer. The allyl sulfide or allicin helps in activating an important protein in our body known as nuclear erythroid factor, NRF2. This triggers the inflammation in the body, like it reduces the inflammation and it helps our body reduce the oxidative stress. So that's how it has an anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effect in our body. Whenever a person is having neutropenia or low neutrophil counts, we actually are more prone to various infections. So the very important point to keep in mind is whatever food you're eating, you need to always thoroughly cook it. Anything that is raw can cause more infection in the body, keeping in mind that our immunity is low at that particular point. So nothing raw should be added into the routine. Everything, be it your fruit, try and poach your fruit or steam it. Your vegetables, grains, pulses, everything should be cooked properly. Fruits and vegetables, you can wash them with saline water, like make a 10% saline solution of water and salt. Water should be hot enough, and then immerse your fruits and vegetables into it for around a minute. This will help you in reducing the pesticides and any bacteria which are on the outer covering. After washing it properly, use it into your routine for cooking purpose. So this way, we can make sure that a person keeps their immunity in check and stays away from neutropenia. The very important point I would like to mention over here is about castor oil. So castor oil actually was used by our ancestors for many different reasons. And one of that reason is boosting immunity. Castor oil really helps in boosting immunity or your T lymphocytes, which are the cells which are really important in our immune system. Castor oil also reduces inflammation in the body. It has ricinoleic acid into it, which helps our body reduce the inflammation, and it helps in boosting the immune system accordingly.
So Deepika, thanks for sharing that. Now, a lot of people also have the habit of doing juicing during cancer and all of that stuff. So another point that we want to make, like Deepika said, and even your doctors would usually tell you don't have raw. It's mainly because of infection. Your white blood cell count, everything is already low. So if you suddenly get an infection at this stage, you're probably going to miss your next chemo round, or your immunity is really going to take a shock. If you have access to organic food or homegrown or farm grown, that's the time you can really wash it well and really use it. If you tend to use fruits which you're not going to steam and wash, then you should peel them. So you should get the peel of an apple, or select fruits that you can actually, which actually have a thick peel on, like oranges, sweet limes. Remove the peel and then it's absolutely fine. But you want to be sure that you don't even go into crowded areas, because your immune system is already low. And you do not want to get sick again when you have a low immune system. Let's talk about thrombocytopenia, which is the drop in the platelets. Deepika, what tips do you have for the platelet fall in cancer patients?
So the very first tip that many of the doctors also suggest is papaya leaf extract. Papaya leaf extract has shown to improve the platelet counts drastically because it has a compound known as erythrocyte 12 lipoxygenase. That means platelet boosting lipoxygenase. When a person has papaya leaf extract, it can be in juice form, it can be in supplement form. It helps in increasing the production of megakaryocytes in our bone marrow. Now, megakaryocytes are the cell which helps in increasing platelet count in the body. So that's how papaya leaf extract helps in improving your platelet count. So a person undergoing chemotherapy can definitely have 30 ml to 50 ml of papaya leaf extract, like a proper juice of papaya leaf. twice a day would be fine, a few minutes after the meal. So this can be done on a daily basis till they see that the papaya leaf is working on their body and the platelet starts improving. Secondly, we can also look at adding amla into the routine. Now, amla is a Indian superfood which is just loaded with nutrition. It has vitamin C, it has potassium, magnesium, it has selenium, it has compounds like ellagic acid, pyrogalol, etc., which has anti-neoplastic properties in our body. That means it controls the growth of tumor cell in the body. So that's how it helps us in improving the immunity, and it will also help us in improving the platelet counts. We can also look at adding omega-3 fatty acids into the routine. Omega-3 fatty acids in the form of walnut, flaxseed, fatty fish. If you are eating fish, then fatty fish once in a week, like salmon, tuna, can be added into the routine, depending whether your body is able to tolerate it or not. Omega-3 fatty acid helps us in boosting the immune system, and it helps us in increasing the platelet count as well. Uh, we can also talk about aloe vera. Aloe vera, I think most of the Indian families and even abroad, they now have started keeping aloe vera plant into their house. So you just have to scoop out the gel of aloe vera. It really has anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. So it regulates a proper immune system in the body, which helps us in boosting the platelet levels. These are few tips that a person can incorporate into their routine to improve the platelet counts gradually.
Thanks, Deepika. So a note also on the papaya leaf extract. Again, you want to be aware of where you're getting the papaya leaves from, because they should really be organic and pesticide free. So you even get the supplements. You can ask your doctor to prescribe these supplements, which are papaya leaf extracts, and your doctors will prescribe that for you. If you have your home tree growing your papaya leaf, then you want to take the leaf, you want to cut off the stem, wash it really well. Take the smaller leaves because they're more potent. And you want to wash them, devein them. You'll find the little veins running through them. Cut them into a cabbage-like consistency. In a hand grinder, on a pounder, or a mixer with a little bit of water. It's better if you hand pound it. You get more of the juice out. Mix it with a little bit of water, and then, like Deepika said, you can consume 30 to 50 ml, depending on your doctor's prescription or your health professional's prescription. But please understand that platelets, that's why a lot of cancer patients may bruise. They'll find themselves bruising very easily. Sometimes you can even just touch your skin and there'll be a red mark. That's because of the fall in platelets. So there are many things that your doctor may also do today. In conventional medicine, they also have injections to help you with your white blood cells and your platelets. But like I said, that exists, but also change your lifestyle and add to your nutrition. So overall, you can improve these particular side effects that you get. Deepika, let's talk about hyperpigmentation, because this is something that psychologically also weighs down on a patient, especially a woman. Men also, their skin starts changing color. They get dark patches on their face, underarms, arms, below the breast area, depending on where the cancer is and where the chemotherapy is really working. So what are the tips that you have for hyperpigmentation?
Okay, so hyperpigmentation happens in radiation when a particular area is exposed to that radiation. So like in a normal routine, if we go out in sun, we do apply, like few people do apply sunblock and everything to protect themselves from the harmful UV rays. Similarly, in radiation, you get those harmful rays on your body, and then it starts increasing the melanin production, and that's where the tanning starts happening, or the skin becomes more and more dark. So there's nothing to worry in it. It will reduce gradually as and when your treatment stops. But we can definitely try and improve the tanning with the help of raw potato juice. Now, raw potato juice helps in detoxifying the body. So you can just grate one raw potato, or juice it up and squeeze out the entire juice properly. Apply this juice on the area where the tanning is there, or the affected area. Keep it for around 30 minutes and then wash it off. Now, raw potato helps in detoxification of the skin, so it will definitely start improving the skin texture. It will make it a little lighter, but at the same time it leaches out hydration from the skin, because it is detoxifying. So it also leaches out water from your skin, so you just need to replenish that water with the help of your normal water consumption. You need to increase your water intake. So if there is hydration internally, your skin will look hydrated outside as well. And after applying raw potato juice, you can also try and apply aloe vera gel. So aloe vera can be from fresh plant itself. You just have to use the leaf and massage it on your skin gently. So this also gives you a good hydration. It keeps the skin smooth, and it soothes the skin basically. So even after radiation, few people do get a little burning sensation as well. So they can just apply this aloe vera gel on their skin, and it will help them in getting that soothing effect on the skin. Apart from raw potato juice, aloe vera, and increasing water intake, we can also try and gently scrub the skin, not with the scrubs that you get in market, but you can make your own scrub by just grinding 2 to 3 walnut with just a teaspoon or 2 teaspoons of milk. Because you are applying it on your body, milk is completely fine. Better is to just crush it with hand rather than grinding it, because you will then get right a coarse walnut texture. Let the mixture be in paste form, apply it on the affected area, and very gently you have to scrub so that it doesn't cause any bruising or it doesn't cause any irritation to the skin. So when you gently scrub the particular area, you tend to also improve the blood circulation. When the blood circulation improves, definitely the toxins starts moving aside and getting eliminated from the body, and this will also lighten up the skin. So these are a few tips for hyperpigmentation that anyone can follow.
Thanks, Deepika. So in most cases, you got to remember that it will get better. It will get better, but you got to look after it. Aloe vera is also very, very powerful. Like Deepika said, it's very soothing to skin. You should always remember if, anyone gets a burn or anything like that, even putting a potato peel on the burn can bring about almost immediate healing until you seek medical attention. Aloe vera as well is used as a natural burn treatment as well. So these are things that you can do, but overall, exercise is very important. I'm not saying intensive, because you got to keep blood circulating. Remember, when we talk detoxification, if you don't have blood circulation, the food may work on removing toxins, but the toxins have to come into your blood before they get out of your system. So you need blood circulation, very, very important. And even breathing. Your deep breathing oxygenates every cell of your body. So deep breathing in a way is literally detoxification. We could use the term oxygenation of your blood, which is very important for removing toxins from your system. So that's very important as well. Now we quickly touch upon hair fall. Now most people, especially the women, of course, are always worried about their hair falling, but you should know why it's happening, and that in most cases after your treatment, your hair will come back, and sometimes even better than your previous growth. So you see, chemo works on the principle of attacking fast dividing cells. Cancer cells are fast dividing cells. The other fast dividing cells are also your hair cells, your hair follicles. So in its attempt to kill your fast dividing cells, which are your cancer cells, it can kill many other fast dividing cells in your body, which is also your hair. And that's why you have hair fall. But you should not always assume that you will get hair fall. We have hundreds of patients who go through the same chemotherapy, where some people get hair fall and some people don't. So you should never ever go into a treatment expecting the worst. I have patients who have literally visualized that they will not have a single side effect, and they don't. I have some patients whose families have not told them they're getting chemotherapy because, they're elderly, and they just tell them they're getting multivitamins or intravenous saline. And believe me, these people don't even go through a single side effect. So sometimes you got to understand it's your mind. We Google, the doctors put fear in us about all the possible side effects. They're not wrong. They're preparing you for it. But if your mind believes it, it also does happen. But I'm here to tell you that a lot of people don't go through side effects because they don't know about it. So the power of your mind is very, very important. Deepika, if you can quickly touch upon a quick tips that people going through chemo and radiation can do to manage their hair, please.
As you rightly said, first thing is power of visualization. So I did have a client who was undergoing chemotherapy and who wasn't aware that he is undergoing chemotherapy. And at the end of the cycles, their family told him that, you underwent chemotherapy sessions and now you're completely fine, into remission. And this guy did not have a single hair fall, because he wasn't aware that, he is undergoing chemotherapy or he will face such side effects. So visualization really helps. So very basic thing we can do is visualize that our hair is growing faster, the hair is smooth, it has a thicker growth. And on top of that, if people are still facing hair fall, we can definitely try and go for natural remedies. Like they can apply raw onion juice. uh, the sulfur present in onion juice actually helps in stimulating the blood circulation on your scalp. So you just have to take raw onion juice, apply it on your scalp, and massage it for 5 minutes so that it helps in stimulating the blood circulation. It also boosts the keratin production in the hair. Now, keratin, we all know, is beneficial for hair because it enhances the hair growth. It gives a good texture to the hair. So we can apply raw onion juice twice a week on the scalp, massage it gently, keep it for 45 minutes, and then wash it off with a mild shampoo. Or you can also prepare shampoo at home by mixing areca nut, uh, methi powder, amla, and shikakai powder. Equal quantity of all this, mix it up together, and then just use 1 tablespoon of this mixture on your hair for washing purpose. It will also help you in detoxifying the hair. It will help you in giving the smooth texture to the hair and hair growth as well will be seen. The second important thing that you can also do is castor oil application. We have seen castor oil definitely has anti-inflammatory properties. So you can mix equal amount of castor oil with coconut oil and apply it on your scalp. It enhances the hair follicle by improving circulation in the scalp. Therefore, it promotes the hair growth. Plus, it also has antifungal, antibacterial properties. So if few people are also facing dandruff issues, the dandruff will get removed, and that as well will help us in improving the hair growth. So these are a few tips that a person can follow for hair loss. And at the same time, circulation, not only on the scalp, but the entire body is important. So if you can walk on a regular basis, not going for like 30-45 minutes walk, but even a 5-10 minutes of leisure walking in the house will help us in improving the circulation, improving the detoxification of the body. When the body is not full of toxins, that's when we see good results and healing happens.
All right. So also to add to that point, also what works is a combination, like Deepika said, castor oil. You can use castor oil, coconut oil, and also adding a little bit of sesame oil. So, there are different oils that work. You got to find out what suits you, but these will really help. And remember, stress, even if you're not going through chemotherapy and you don't have cancer, today, most of the younger generation and the older generation loses hair because of the amount of stress that they have. We know that stress makes your hair fall. So you got to understand that if you're going to go through this, I know your hair is important, but if the hair loss happens, the first step is acceptance. Because if you keep stressing about it, one is you're already losing hair. Two is your stress, you're going to lose hair faster. So it becomes a vicious cycle. At every point in life, we have to observe acceptance that, okay, fine, I accept, the chemo is having a side effect and my hair is falling, but I know it's going to come back again. Let me do the right things. Move from denial straight into acceptance and then into action. Very, very important. Okay, let's quickly touch upon neuropathy now. Deepika, neuropathy is this tingling sensation, numbness. So if you can give us a couple of tips, please, let's go ahead with that.
Okay, so neuropathy can happen because of two reasons. One is the chemotherapy. It also affects the growth of nerve cells. That's why a person can face neuropathy. Secondly, if the chemotherapy is going on, the person is having too many nutrient deficiency. Like the chemotherapy starts depleting your vitamin B12, D3, selenium, magnesium, and other stores from the body. So reduction in this important vitamins and minerals will also give you neuropathy. So the very first point is check your B12 and D3 levels. Make sure they are in optimum range. If not, then talk to your doctor and see if they suggest any supplementation for the same. If you see that the B12 and D3 is completely fine, then we also need to look at the magnesium levels, because magnesium helps in improving the nerve function of the body properly. So a person can use Epsom salt soaking as a secondary measure to improve the pain, aches, tingling sensation, and numbness in the body. So you can just add around 75 to 100 grams of Epsom salt in a bucket full of water. The water should be warm preferably, because that will help in relaxing the leg muscles properly. You have to soak your legs into it for around 20 to 30 minutes. The magnesium will enter into the bloodstream and it will get circulated throughout the body, which will help us, which will help us in improving the nerve pain, which will help us in controlling the numbness, and neuropathy will gradually get in control. We can also look at applying sesame and nutmeg oil mixture. So sesame oil is a good source of calcium, and nutmeg oil really helps in relieving pain from joints and nerves. So you can mix around 1/4 cup of warm sesame oil with just 3 to 4 drops of nutmeg oil and apply this mixture on the affected area. You can keep it overnight so that it works on your body overnight and the pain starts coming under control. On top of this, you can even apply a hot compress, or you can do a hot and cold compress alternately, because when you do a hot and cold compress alternately, you're actually stimulating your nerve cells. So this will help us in controlling the neuropathy in a gradual way. So these are a few tips that a person can incorporate into their routine for controlling the neuropathy.
That's perfect. And also remember that sleep is your most important drug for anything to heal in the human body, especially going through chemo. A lot of cells are getting damaged, nerve endings are getting damaged. So if you don't have proper sleep at night, the whole process is incomplete. You can do all the tips that we tell you, but sleep is your fundamental medicine when it comes to any illness, not just cancer. So, we'll probably do a whole separate topic on how to improve your sleep. In fact, we've already done that. So probably Tina will share those links with you on how to improve your sleep. But everything that we're saying is useless without your sleep, including your chemotherapy, will work better when you sleep. Any drug that you take will work better when you have sleep, because there's a lot of magic that happens while we sleep. Your healing, inflammation comes down, all of these things. So we need to look at sleep. All right, before we end, Deepika, let's talk quickly about weight loss and cachexia, why weight loss happens. Every side effect of a chemo drug is weight loss, and you can ask that to your doctors. So technically, when you know it's a side effect of chemo, then you probably wouldn't get that stressed when your doctor keeps telling you to go on eating. It's a side effect. It's not happening because you're sick. It's not happening because you're developing a new ailment while you're going through chemo. So it's very important for you to know that one of the side effects of chemotherapy is weight loss, because it affects everything. The way you absorb your food, the way energy is broken down, your digestive enzymes, your bowel movement, everything changes. So there is possible weight loss and almost sure weight loss that usually happens. You've got to be very calm and patient about it. If you take the advice of going and eating cupcakes and sugar right now, I can tell you that is literally the worst thing that you can do. Two things. Your doctor will say, oh, go ahead, there's no science. Number one, ask yourself, when you're sick, do you put thrash in your body? Number two, is sugar adding any value to you? You don't have sugar to put on weight. Everyone who's putting on weight today and getting obese, sugar creates insulin resistance. Sugar creates inflammation. Sugar makes you more hungry, so you end up eating more carbs and items, and that's how you put on weight. So remember, when you want to put on weight, there are many ways. You can use high nutrient-dense foods, fiber, protein, good fats, all of those things. But never make the mistake of trying to put on weight by eating junk food and by eating sugar. The moment you do that, know that your treatment is not being effective. Know that you are lowering your immune system, you are increasing inflammation, and you are making yourself sicker and sicker. So Deepika, over to you, please, if we can quickly touch upon points and ways that you can put on weight.
What happens is the cancer cell starts robbing nutrition from the healthy cells. That's when the person sees weight loss. That again is a side effect of the disease. Secondly, as you said, chemotherapy affects the healthy cells, and that's why the person sees weight loss. So we definitely need to make sure that we try and tackle the other side effects of chemotherapy, because what happens is if a person is undergoing chemotherapy, they have loss of appetite, they have nausea, vomiting, they might get diarrhea as well. So there's a few things which we need to improve to make sure that the person starts eating well, the side effects starts reducing. When the intake improves, the weight will automatically improve. So for improving all these things, the person can incorporate lemon water into the routine, which will keep their body alkaline. Secondly, they can just mix a teaspoon of lemon and a teaspoon of ginger juice with a cup of warm water. This will make sure that it helps them in improving the appetite, controlling nausea and vomiting. When all of the symptoms are controlled, the appetite will improve, the person will start eating well, and there will be gradual weight loss seen. Secondly, they need to have a nutritionally balanced meal. So no matter what your doctor is saying, but it's better that you have a nutritionally balanced meal. So even if you have a millet khichdi into your routine or a normal khichdi topped with a teaspoon of ghee, that's good enough because you're getting proper amino acids from that khichdi, you're getting carbohydrates, you're getting protein, you're getting healthy fats, and this nutrients will help you in improving your weight gradually. Lastly, we can also look at adding glutamine or D-ribose powder into the routine. So people who are doing weight training, they are taking glutamine because glutamine helps in muscle recovery after their activity. So similar thing happens with a cancer patient as well who is losing weight. They can look at adding glutamine or D-ribose, which will help them in muscle recovery and building the muscle gradually, which will help them in improving the weight as well. The most important point is sleep. As Luke said, everything happens in sleep, be it detoxification, be it growth, be it muscle building, be it healing. Everything requires sleep. So if you are sleeping properly, if you're getting a sound sleep, then your body will automatically get into that healing process and you will see the weight gain is happening. So these are a few pointers that a person can follow on a regular basis to make sure that they see a gradual weight gain.
So also to add to that, a lot of doctors will say, get onto a high protein diet, start taking shakes, all of that stuff. See, that's all right. You need to have protein because we don't want you to lose muscle. We don't want you to lose weight. But remember, what you are feeding when you eat, you're feeding the good cells and the bad cells. So if you put too much of protein in your system at one time, protein is the building block of all cells, your healthy cells as well as your cancer cells. And that's why you have to have a balance throughout the day. Yes, you can consume protein, fats, everything, but it's got to be balanced. You can't have everything together at one time. So if you're having a scoop of whey protein, it should be divided over 3 times in a day. Extremely important for you to understand that. So what we need to do is realize that your nutrients have to be spaced out. Now, sometimes you may not have an appetite, so the ginger, lemon helps. Sometimes you have a metallic taste in your mouth or you have sores in your mouth because of the radiation or the chemo. So whether you do oil pulling, or we'll share those details with you later, sometimes your salivary glands don't produce enough of saliva. If you can't produce enough of saliva, you don't feel hungry. So there are all these little things for you to know so that you don't get worried. You don't get worried. When you're going through your cancer treatment, you got to be calm. You got to be calm. I know it's easy for me to say that, difficult for you, but I got to say what is the truth. You got to be calm because a lot of healing happens when you're calm, when you're stressed out, when you're in the sympathetic nervous system, when your cortisol levels are high. Everything gets messed up in the human body. So you know you have cancer, you know you have a good team of doctors looking after you, all of that stuff. Now you got to trust the process and do what you have to do. There's no point getting more and more worried and stressed. So these are all natural things that really, really happen, you know, with you when you understand how cancer works. It's robbing nutrition from your healthy cells, and that's how it grows. That's how tumors grow. That's how the cancers spread. They need energy. Where are they going to get energy from? That's why we say absolutely no white sugar, because your cancer cells utilize sugar for growth, for energy uptake. You know, a lot of people say that there's no science behind sugar. My doctor said I want to eat sugar. Well, that's the biggest risk you'll ever take, because the next question you need to ask your doctor is, so tell me about a PET scan. How does a PET scan work? What do they put in you? They put radiated sugar in you. Why? Because if there's a cancer cell, the uptake, the FDG uptake that you see in your PET scan is nothing but a cancer cell uptaking the glucose. So you see the light up of your PET scan is dependent on the radiated sugar that they put in your system. So now if you want to feed your body sugar, you're feeding your cancer cells, period. No matter what anyone says, you got to understand that you cannot have white sugar. You can do jaggery, you can do stevia, depending if you have diabetes or not, unsweetened, raw, pasteurized honey. There are so many alternatives that you can use. So before we end, these are tips that you can do, but understand, where do these side effects come from? When you put chemo in the body, there are certain vitamins, certain minerals, certain proteins that get depleted from the body. Now, if you're able to put that back into your system through your nutrition, through your supplementation, through your lifestyle, then the side effect gets managed. Every medicine on this planet has a side effect. From your normal paracetamol to anything, every single medicine, as long as you manage it the right way, you come out of it way, way better. So I hope you use these tips making an informed decision. I've looked at some of the questions. They're very technical. Unfortunately, it's not legal for us to give advice about cancer to a specific case like this. Use the tips as much as you can. If not, reach out to our team. We're always happy to help you. We have a lot more videos which Tina will share with you based on chemotherapy and radiation. But the point that I'm trying to make is that when you get cancer, once you've accepted it, move into action. You do not always have to get the side effects. Every side effect can be managed. The most destruction happens to people who only take the conventional treatment and do not make dietary changes and do not make lifestyle changes. We've seen those groups of people who don't do it and people who do it. It makes a huge difference on the simple science. If there's poison getting into your body or cytotoxins, you have to have an outlet for all of the toxins and manage the depletion of all the vitamins and minerals that happen along with it. Deepika, thank you so much for your time. Tina, if you can collate all the questions and see if our team can manage it to the best of their ability. If not, you can have people connected to us. Thank you, everyone.